Welcome to the ACX e-learning video on the ALX-G1 system administration. We have already set up our local area network as well as all the client nodes or computers, and we are ready to configure the ALX-G1 remote control intranet server. We have also physically connected the G1 to the LAN as well as powered it up. We have waited the recommended 5 minutes to make sure Alexis has had ample time to automatically configure all of the necessary internal network parameters. A quick look at our local settings for the NIC shows we have a 10 or a Class A network. We've also written down all of our settings on the network installation project worksheet. This means we will be connecting to Alexis at 10.0.0.22. It should be noted, if your LAN is set up as a Class B network, the IP address would be something similar to 172.16.0.22. If set up as a Class C, it may be 192.168.1.22. For more on this subject, see the user guide section for the ALX-G1 for administration access. An important reminder, make sure you see the e-learning video and notes on setting up your browser for an ACX installation. Let's go ahead and log into the main menu by using the main IP address for a 10 network at 10.0.0.22. As we can see here, this is the default screen for a newly installed ALX-G1. It tells us that the system is not yet configured, or it has been intentionally defaulted. It's also directing us to engage administration where we may configure our system. Let's go ahead and launch the administration POI. Notice how the IP address now has a colon and the number 2233. This is the default URL for all ACX server administrations. The base address, in this case 10.0.0.22, followed by a colon, and the port number 2233. As you see here, the administration POI first presents us with a license agreement. You will see this agreement every time you log into the server's administration. Selecting the Yes button will allow us to proceed. If you do not agree with the terms in the ACX license agreement, simply select No. This will close your browser and end your admin session with the Alexis ALX-G1 server. After we select Yes for the license agreement, we are presented with a passcode challenge. All ACX servers employ a passcode for administration or configuration menus. This will prevent unintentional as well as accidental changes in the system from occurring. For the purposes of this e-learning video, we will not disclose the default passcode. After we have successfully entered the correct value for the passcode, the G1 will load the main menu for the system's administration. This is the G1's main system admin menu. As we see here, it's animated and a bit unconventional, especially for a systems administration interface. At ACX, we like to make our admin software just as fun and engaging as the runtime interfaces. We find that it takes the boredom out of systems admin. As the title of this e-learning video suggests, we are going to declare our POIs for this system. Now let's take a closer look at this menu. A helpful warning reminder pops up whenever we access this section. This is because the POI parameters are critical for all ALX-G1 systems. In the upper left corner, we have the available parent POI or audio switcher list. Below on the bottom left, we have the available child POI or source component list. The large box to the right is where our declared POIs will be listed. This little bubble on the top will tell us how many POIs we have already declared. Since the ALX-G1 is equipped with 9 serial ports, we are limited to 9 individual devices for our multi-room audio system. Through our years of R&D and testing through our alpha beta program, we have determined that this configuration best fits the needs of the majority of multi-room audio installations. Since the ALX-G1 is equipped with 9 serial ports, we are limited to 9 RS-232 controlled devices for our multi-room audio system. However, this limitation is only for components that will be interfaced via an RS-232 serial port and does not include devices that communicate via Ethernet such as the DMS-MS and the DMX3 servers. When viewed in the context of a many-to-one configuration such as the Adtex triple play and Marantz tuners, we quickly see how a single serial port can control multiple devices housed in the same chassis. This yields great flexibility for POI and systems config. Since we use an ADA Suite 8100 here at the ACX lab, let's go ahead and select it from the parent POI box. As we see here, Whenever a device is selected from the POI boxes, a helpful details reminder will pop on the screen to ensure we have chosen the correct component from the available list. We also see that the POI is not declared, but rather waiting in the On Deck box on top. To add the POI, we simply choose the Add button. If we have changed our minds or have made a mistake, simply highlight the POI and remove it with the Remove button. Remember, no values on board your Alexis ALX-G1 will occur until we save the configuration. It should be noted at this time that you may have more than one switcher in any ACX system. See the notes on multiple parent POIs in the ALX-G1 user guide. Now that we have our main switcher in place, we need a few source components from the child POI box. To avoid showing favoritism, we will choose multiple child POIs from the available list which reflect the actual test devices here at the ACX Computer Lab. It should be noted that if you have several identical devices in your system, such as multiple iPod cradles or tuners of the same make and model, they must be added to the list for each time they occur in the system. For example, we have two XM/FM AM tuners from Marantz here at the lab, so we'll need to add the child POI for the Marantz tuner twice. We also have two iPort in-wall iPod docking stations from Sonance. We'll need to add this component twice as well. Last but not least, we have one each of the Marantz IS-201, the Parasound Z custom tuner, and a T100 mini tuner from Sherborne. Now that we have all of our POIs in place, the only thing we need to do is save our configuration. If we need to make changes, we can always return and make adjustments to the POI list at any time. Let's go ahead and save our system config. As we can see, a confirmation dialog will appear whenever we make changes to the system. This simply serves as a fail-safe, preventing us from making alterations to the system by accident. As we see here, the system is giving us messages for every step of the POI setup process. Each device in the list will receive its own instance ID. This becomes very useful within the parent POI assignment menus. For more on that topic, see the e-learning video on child POI position assignment. Now that the ALX-G1 server has saved all parameters, all we need to do is assign each device a serial port. For information on assigning the serial ports, please see the e-learning video on serial port assignment. We hope this e-learning video is useful and informative. For more e-learning videos, visit acxlan.com.